VGK's Jack Eichel and Noah Hanifin have been invited to U.S. Olympic orientation camp. Eichel's a shoo-in. Can Hanifin make the team after the evaluation process? He's going to have to be a lot better than he was this past season in every category. It's WTF Day, and it's next right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy WTF Day to all who celebrate. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick.
Kids should get the day off school today. Anyway,
they should get the day off every Friday. They should only have a 4-day school week. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. I am a longtime sportscaster, marketing consultant, and the host of the Believe in Vegas podcast. A new one is up now, and it previews UNLV Rebel football. Chris is the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports and the collectibles editor of the Hockey News. Now, coming up ahead on today's show, later on, we'll talk about perhaps too much emphasis on two stars and how that can mesh here in Vegas. And it's WTF What the Friday. So we'll get to all those comments later on. Some good ones floating out there. We are brought to you today by Gametime. Download the Gametime app today. Use that promo code LOCKEDONNHL, and you will receive $20 off of your first purchase. Jack Eichel and Noah Hanifin, they are headed to Plymouth, Michigan. I don't know where that's at, but in any event, it'll be next Tuesday and Wednesday, and it's USA Olympic Orientation Camp. They will be joining a group of 42 other players who will be there. Jack Eichel was one of 6 players, as we know, that's already been tabbed. He'll be an Olympian as the NHL players participate in games. In the games, I should say, for the first time in, I think, 11 years, I think they said. So the NHL players will be there. Eichel will probably be the top line center. But Noah Hanifin, will he make the team despite leading VGK in turnovers? And he's really not in peak form, as we saw this past season. He's going to have a bounce back year. And led the team in turnovers and some other categories that aren't good. And 23 players, including Eichel and Hanifin, were on that runner-up Four Nations team. And that includes Eichel and Hanifin. They were both there. And there will be 16 defensemen when we talk about Hanifin, Chris, who will be on this team. Is he better than Adam Fox? The likes of Zach Werenski. Quinn Hughes will be back. My goodness. Brock Faber will be there. And right now, I'm not sure that Hanifin makes this team. Still time to prove himself, to bounce back. But as of this moment, I don't think he'll be an Olympian. What are your thoughts?
It's close. It's not a lock by any means. Quinn Hughes, Adam Fox, no doubt. Zach Werenski, no doubts. Charlie McAvoy, no doubts. Like, we're talking starter, top 4 category. After that, it does get a little bit of money. Brock Faber, yes, very sound player. That's where Noah Hanifin comes in. That's where Luke Hughes comes in. That's where Jake Sanderson comes in, Brady Shea, et cetera, et cetera. So the defense might be the biggest race for as far as USA is concerned about who's going to be on this roster. And something that is not forgotten, I'm sure, on the Team USA coaching and management side is that game-winning goal actually falls on Noah Hanifin. If you go back and watch, Noah Hanifin did not stop the puck from rimming around the boards that ultimately made its way onto Connor McDavid's stick for the game winner. So something like that will carry a little bit of weight. Go back and watch the replay. Watch Noah Hanifin's positioning, and unfortunately, he missed his assignment in that moment. And here we are today.
It's going to be a couple of sessions of team bonding and just orientation, nothing on the ice for this weekend. So there's no tryouts per se this upcoming weekend or week, I should say. And
players love nothing more in the middle of their summer before they're about to, get back to the grind to go to Plymouth, Michigan to not play hockey.
To drink beer. to drink beer. Yeah,
Ooh, okay.
they'll have a meeting.
Some are probably too young, so technically we can't
true.
acknowledge that. But
Okay,
sure.
yeah, for sure. Funny thing here, you look at Eichel, he could be centering in a plot twist Austin Matthews. That's going to be funny. And of course, he's got the Kachuk brothers and pretty potent offense. And the final roster will be just 25 players. So there is going to be some fierce competition going on. And we haven't even seen, so there's 42 players. You
Not a
go
lot.
44 players, I should say, 44 players down to 25. And then also, someone else could appear on the radar because the final roster will be named in December. So none of these players that are going there, save the 6, I think, that they already had mentioned, are actual locks to make the team.
No, I can confirm that on the Team Canada side, just because you did not go to the orientation does not mean you don't have a chance to make the team. I can tell you there are many players on the Team Canada side who have filled out whatever the entry level paperwork is for the drug testing and stuff and all that, have done some paperwork for their consideration. I don't know if the same is happening with Team USA, but that's how it is on the Team Canada side. So a lot can definitely change, and I think both sides, U.S. and Canada, and all these nations have learned maybe wait this thing out as long as you can, because you never know what's going to happen with any player who's on the roster, potentially on the roster. So you want to give your country best shot for gold, you're going to wait as long as you can to get what you think is as close to a perfect roster. Austin Matthews and Eichel, I think Austin Matthews will be a center, so I don't think they would be on the same line too often unless it's a hero type circumstance, which of course would certainly end up happening. Should they be too reliant on two superstars? Segue into
Good segue there. No, that would be fun. And then the Canadian team is also meeting, but their meetings are like Tuesday through Thursday, just like a one-day overnight trip for the Americans. So a lot of Molson and Calgary for that meeting, I'm sure. I'm positive there. Tage Thompson is invited. Again, we know that he was left off 4 Nations after that blunder. Matthew Nyes is another player that could make this team that we haven't seen for the Team USA for that roster. So I think that could be pretty interesting. And then 12 players that won the gold at the World Championships are also invited. So I think that's a good gesture because, hey, they already have that winning attitude. And again, we're going to see some surprises make the final roster for Team USA.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't think it's going to be as much like the NHL where they're going to put together your first and second superstar line, your third line, which is your defensive line, your fourth line, which is your energy line. I don't think you're going to see a similar structure. It's going to be a lot more skill across the 4 forward lines and the 3 deep pairings. I believe you play on the bigger ice surface as well for international play. It's not going to be like the 4 Nations where it was on NHL ice. You need more skill. You need more finesse. And again, if I'm wrong on that, then so be it. But point being is you have so much skill to go around. You're not putting your Kolesar line out there in the Olympics. It's going to be 4 pretty highly skilled lines. So it'll be a lot of fun to watch. And like I see Patrick Kane's name on here, he would love nothing more than to be an Olympian, likely one last time in his career. And then you got a youngster for the Blackhawks, Frank Nazar, who just got nearly a $50 million bag. So you got such a mix of players here. And then you got Jason Robertson, of course, Brady Tkachuk will be back. And then a youngster like Logan Cooley. We're talking about all these players, like you said, that played in the Worlds, and they got that extra attention, and hopefully they can parlay that into a shot at an Olympic roster.
Yeah, it's going to be very competitive, as we mentioned. And it's again, I just think it's going to be difficult for a Noah Hanifin to make this team. I just do. I like
how they put where they're from on this. I think that's pretty cool, actually. The city and state.
On the roster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although Minnesota, they used 4 letters for the abbreviation. Is this something new?
I don't know.
Colorado is COLO. That someone. This is confusing.
I didn't check the AP style book this morning. Coming up,
that's AP style.
Okay.
In my limited time with that nonsense.
Coming up next, is there too much attention on a couple of VGK superstars? We'll talk about that as we return on Locked On Golden Knights. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a Major League Baseball game with your friends, with your family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize that you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without all of that stress and strain. And with the money that you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, on drinks, on merch, or even invite a larger group of friends. Gametime makes it all possible. Gametime makes buying tickets fast and simple. It's so easy. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to the first pitch. And they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and the lowest price guarantee. And it takes the worry out of purchasing tickets for sure. Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Locked On Major League Baseball. And it makes it so easy to browse the app for an exciting upcoming MLB game. And, of course, if you want to see the Yankees in the tank, go buy those tickets now. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets today with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use that promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll receive $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use that redeem code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll receive $20 off of your first purchase. Download the Gametime app today. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. Thanks so much for making us your first listen each and every day. Of course, find us wherever you get your podcast. And please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. And I had this on the napkin from the other day, Chris, and I brought it up last night to you. And pretty much the question here would be, do the Golden Knights run the risk of becoming the Edmonton Oilers? That's where it started. And of course, as we know, the Oilers have two of the top offensive threats in the National Hockey League. Could VGK become so top heavy with Marner and with Eichel? They take a high chunk of the salary cap, all of that space with them. And then again, everything on the ice would revolve around them. Could it be sort of, not perhaps now, but eventually, and especially if Adin Hill just becomes a mid goaltender, could things like start to spiral?
He already is a mid goaltender.
I was trying to be kind. Okay. Could things spiral for VGK where they become too reliant on a couple of superstars? That's where we're headed here.
When I say Adin Hill's a mid goaltender, doesn't mean he's a bad goaltender. He makes his layup and he's a solid backstop who can steal some games. So deep breath, Golden Knight fans. It's okay. All right. Now, listen, can they become the Edmonton Oilers? All right. Well, no, because the Golden Knights have won a Stanley Cup since 1990 with a player besides Wayne Gretzky on their roster. So let's just, acknowledge reality for a second. Now, that said, what the Edmonton Oilers are, they are a two-time Western Conference champion. The two times in recent history, they did not win the Western Conference. They lost to the Stanley Cup winner, the Golden Knights, and the Colorado Avalanche. So I wouldn't say if they become the Oilers, like that's a bad thing. Any team that gets to the Cup final 2 years in a row and goes down to the Cup winners, they've had a pretty good run, and they're really, really close to winning a Stanley Cup. Of course, the Golden Knights have done that. A couple stat lines here that I'm looking at. Number one, the Edmonton Oilers, outside of Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, their next 10 highest point totals equated to 369 points. The Golden Knights' next 10 point totals without Eichel and Mitch Marner equated to 461 points. Now, there's a few players that are not going to be on the team this year, like Pietrangelo, who is on this list, and Victor Olofsson, but those points will be encompassed from other players, whether it's a new entry to the top 10 or more players in that top 10, top 12, I should say, outside of the top 2, get those points. So the Golden Knights already have the depth pieces in place that the Oilers don't necessarily have. The concern, though, Tony, the concern is on the coaching aspect to this. When the game is close, will Cassidy continue to trust his top 2 or 3 forward lines? Or, okay, 12 minutes left, we need a goal, time to double shift Jack and Mitch. I don't think that is necessarily the right answer. And I'm not saying Coach Cassidy can't handle this. I'm definitely not saying that. But I think the Golden Knights have many more depth pieces in place that the Oilers do not have right now.
And, another thing to consider, even as we talk about the salary cap going up, Pavel Dorofeev is another player that wants the bag, right?
Well, going to get the bag, better way to say that, but keep going.
Okay, will VGK run the risk of losing a lot of these middle tier players, even though the cap goes up, and lose some valuable depth in areas that they need that depth? I think this.
The Golden Knights had 6 overall in the front office confidence grade yesterday, right?
Okay, you believe that? That's good. It's a high piece. It's rigged. It was rigged. They have a lot of offensive firepower, but does that now run the risk when you're heavy on offense, right? We'll see a different offensive structure. Does that put the defense and goaltending at risk sometimes?
Oh, it definitely does. I mean, listen, Coach Cassidy, it's going to be a different world with 2 forward superstars and the emphasis that's going to go on that will have a trickle down effect to the rest of the team. We're hearing all this about a different system and everything. By the way, Alex Pietrangelo is no longer a part of the Vegas Golden. He is, but he's not going to be on the roster this season. Zach Whitecloud is slotted for a top 4 role. Caden Korzak is looking to become an everyday player, and you got a new entry in Lazan to this roster. So yeah, there's certainly concerns that possibly putting too much emphasis on Jack and Mitch that could have a trickle down to the lineup. But again, we talked, I think it was Monday or Tuesday's show, about what Mitch Marner is going to do on the forecheck and how Mitch Marner is going to maybe ease the pressure of the defense a little bit and create a very tough forecheck. And it's going to be tougher to crack the Golden Knights in the defensive end of the neutral zone as well, which will help alleviate the pressure on the D.
You definitely need some balance. That's where we're headed here. And VGK appeared to have balance last season. That's where I was going with that. And you said, we mentioned that forechecking in Marner on Monday or Tuesday, really? Marner Monday, bro. Come on, man. How could you slip like that?
Guilty.
But yes, no. I mean, I just think that it's going to be a little tricky, right? And there is no salary cap, as we know, in Vegas.
No.
However, like when there's another high-priced free agent out there, it's going to be more and increasingly difficult to get another superstar-ish player, right, on the roster.
You got to remember, people want to come to Vegas, Tony. There are superstars not necessarily lining up, but the Golden Knights are any free agent, unless it's, geographical, they just don't want to be in the desert. They got family elsewhere or something like that. Vegas will be among the top consideration for any, not low level, mid level, but high level elite superstar, anything. I mean, look at Rasmus Randers. I forgot. Someone put it on in YouTube. What you said.
Rasmussen.
Yeah. Look at Rasmus Anderson. I mean, very good D man. I want to go to Vegas. I want to go anywhere else. I want to go to Vegas.
Let's hope he does.
So the Golden Knights are always going to have consideration, which will help alleviate the pressure alleviate the pressure of 2 superstars. I realized I should have AP style. I should have spelled out the number 2 instead of typed out 2. So yeah, you got that on my mind. Thanks, Tony.
Okay, so all right, I'm going to ask you. I'll put you on the spot like you always do with me.
Can't wait.
Percentage of time, not including special teams, that Marner and Eichel play on the same line. Percentage this upcoming season, and educated. Did I say
so? In 5-on-5 play, how much are Jack and Mitch going to be together?
Correct. That's a big question. Percentage wise, 60%, 70% of the time, 65%, 65.2%.
I'm thinking cry about in the 40 range, and you're
40 range.
I think the Golden Knights, again, we talked about the depth in the next 10 scorers outside of their top 2. And the Golden Knights have that. And again, I'm William Karlsson and Mitch Marner together make it happen. Give the top line of Eichel, Stone, and Barbashev another chance. I want the balance. And when the time is right, put the big boys out there, but I want balance. I want waves.
Coming up next, it's that time of the week. What the Friday? We'll get to it when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. And don't forget, August the 26th, it is officially FanDuel Futures Day, one of Golick's all-time favorites. He really likes this notion. It's a brand new holiday for football fans.
That's a segment.
Yeah, to live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. And for just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on the NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, if you're eyeing a long shot divisional winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champion before week 1, before it even kicks off, this is your moment. What do you think about those Raiders? Are they going to be able to compete on a weekly basis and perhaps move up in the West here in the Western Division? With all that talent, there's a lot. Visit the FanDuel app today, and you could start planning your futures bets right now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. Please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. I know a lot of the fans sticking around for segment number 3, and that's a mainstay, a staple, if you will. Go ahead, start yours. I'm about to cough.
Okay, fine. WTF, Tony, it's the AFC West, not the Western Division. I don't think anyone has ever called the AFC West the Western Division in the history of NFL. So
pound salt.
Good start there. Let's see. Number 2, there's been men's cheerleaders all around sports for a long time now, including the Golden Knights.
You're coming out of retirement. Is that what this is all about?
Including the Golden Knights have had some men on the dance squad. I'm not sure if they call it the cheer squad or not, but there's been men's cheerleaders for a long time. Get over it, people. It's not a problem. It's fun to see. It's all good, I promise. WTF there. And how about Major League Baseball coming in 3rd place to Banana Ball and the Little League World Series? Like, Banana Ball is so much more fun. The Little League World Series is so much more genuine. The MLB absolutely sucks compared to Banana Ball and the Little League World Series. So, yeah. And then one more WTF just for everyone who sometime in the year 2035, when the Golden Knights finally have a losing season and don't qualify the playoffs, they're going to say, you see, I was right. I've been telling you the Golden Knights are going to be terrible. They mortgage the future. I was right. Okay, WTF.
WTF, Gary Adrian said, WTF, what happened to Rasmus Anderson? He's still out there. I don't know why there's no movement, but I think it would be kind of fun there to.
You can't sign Anderson before Eichel gets his extension or trade for him.
So you're talking about next July, perhaps? Could happen? No, I don't know. WTF.
Not a Golden Knight then?
WTF, still waiting to hear about a potential Eichel extension, right? Every day that passes, one step closer to free agency. That's right here.
Absolutely.
And he wants between 12 and a hook, 12 million
12 and a hook.
And 13 million.
No pushes in salary caps either.
No, that's right. There's no pushes.
What if he gets 12.51 because he said that now?
Now he'll get exactly 12.5. And if they can't sign him, he goes to the free agent market and his value goes up to perhaps around $14 million. $14 million. And there's a lot of chatter there in Canada, too, that perhaps he will test the water. So we'll have to see what happens there. And the fans are getting restless, as we know, and I'm sure you'll have some WTFs about that. WTF, of course, we saw the master is here. He arrived, Gerard Gallant, showing up in St. Petersburg, Russia, not Florida. Do they have cab service there in St. Petersburg? WTF, Garrett Gallegos, the king of Summerlin, the kid that hit that 3-run bomb and Summerlin South, or South Summerlin. So I'm going to try to confuse you a little bit because you got upset about the AFC West.
Western Division.
He hit that 3-run. It is the Western Division. He hit that 3-run bomb that, again, sends Summerlin South to the final
awesome.
game of the U.S. Championship. 2 outs. That was incredible. I just got chills. Good for that kid. And someone said on my Twitter feed, the kid will never have to buy a drink again in this town. I don't think
a lot of good places for chocolate milk in this town. A lot of good places for chocolate milk.
WTF. Something from earlier this week. And don't try to outdo me, on this scale of, just huffing and puffing on this show. Let me
get a video ready here, depending on what you're about to say. Okay.
I don't know. No, this is a good one. Alabama and NC State are playing college hockey outdoors at some field in Charlotte, North Carolina, November 15th.
Some field.
Well, I can't read my writing, so
the way you said it. They're playing an outdoor game in the grass somewhere,
somewhere in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's all we need to know. We don't
football field or no?
Okay, Truist Field, something like that. All right. So in any event, I posted UNLV hockey would be great to do this here. They retweeted it. Why wouldn't they do that here in Vegas? And I've got the location, Cashman Field. It's just sitting around there. Put it at Cashman Field. Why not?
They don't draw do it at the Vegas ballpark. Do it where the Aviators play. That's beautiful.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean,
I'm just saying they don't really draw. Well, they pack the place right at City National.
Oh, no, I think it'd be amazing if they did something like that where the Aviators play, because you got the 3/4 kind of horseshoe, and then you can put a row of bleachers in the outfield there.
That's
and stuff.
Fine. Let's just do it, right? Just get that thing done. They should play an outdoor game, right? We're Vegas. Whoa, pump the brakes. Did you play hockey on a team of passengers? Bro, that was in slow motion, man. You scored a goal. These dudes are just like, one guy's like chugging a beer on the ice. Like, what in the...
That's normally me.
That was so slow.
Tony, there used to be a time I walk in the locker room with a beer in hand and we're having conversations about the inappropriate things we did the day before and stuff like that. And, now I walk into the locker room, immediate stench of Bengay fills my nostrils. And we're talking about health and we're talking about, hey, how you doing when you go in for surgery? Oh yeah, I gotta get that hip done and gotta get the knee work done, but I got a couple more weeks. Like I'm not saying this to make fun of the guys I play with. That's not at all the point of this, but it's a new reality. But you know what? I get to lace them up 2 or 3 times a week and I feel great doing it. And slow motion, fast motion, but you know what? I'm out there doing it. And yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So I gotta get Tony out there on the ice.
Oh yeah.
I got a YouTube one here. Lou Dog, Vegas Strong, 777. Couple what the Fridays talk about. What is with the start time of UNLV football games the last few years? It's not like the TV revenue we get is offsetting the $30 million deficit that idiot AD has rung up. WTF? I didn't proofread that, I guess.
Yeah.
And then why does the VGK front office get so much grief? Just like I said about the confidence meter. They put on a clinic at the expansion draft on fleecing the rest of the league and got some. I have to read more. Click read more. There we go. We got some darn good players in the process, better than Seattle. And honestly, who cares about draft picks? Boom. Like Chris was saying on the show, I like this already. Unless you have a generational talent, it's better to let other teams develop talent. And GM Cam can pick and choose who fits our system. WTF. Very well said.
Okay. More on Gary Adrian has like a WTF train. Last WTF, what's the over-under of running out of things on the napkin before training camp? We came close last night there. I was trying to find the name of that.
Yeah, it took till about 10:30 to get our second topic.
We were like, I said, let me check.
Its own topic. Like,
I said, let me check the napkin, and I did. So we came up with a good one there. Blah 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 blah. WTF? John Strickland said, WTF was Chris on yesterday, and where the hell do I get some? Where do I get some?
Isn't he a doctor?
You should be prescribing something to us. It is panic time. What like Seth Bales? Does it become panic time when the preseason starts? WTF? In this case, the W stands for where? The W stands for where? T.A. Nyman. WTF is the Jack Eichel extension. And also, why is no one talking about it? We're talking about it. And Golick's fired up. And when do we start to get worried? On the worry meter right now, I think it's time to start worrying. I do.
People who weren't worried this time about the Marchessault situation, and look what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And before everyone says, "Oh, Marchessault didn't want to be here," and blah 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 blah. At this time, like in the equivalent when Marchessault was still under contract, everyone wanted Marchessault to stay. End of story. Go ahead.
Okay. For our passenger, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you Monday for Monday on Locked On Golden Knights. Please take care.
My goal yesterday. Let's go.